Okay, it's Friday. We had jobs report uh in the morning, pre-market. Um, so basically, haven't had much of a time for a bias yet, but I think we're definitely gonna be bullish today just because we came out of a big liquidity sweep. We have this imbalance to fill, and I think a lot of these highs should get taken. Um, both ES and NQ for that. We still haven't tapped into this daily fair value yet. We probably won't for a while. If we go down to the 1 hour, there's imbalance up here, kind of in this range. That's something to look for. What else? What else? Down on the 1 minute, marked out areas of liquidity. Since the bias is bullish, I'd like to see sell side get swept, which we're kind of heading towards. Sell side get swept, and then look for two-step confluence to target buy side liquidity. So that's kind of the plan. Okay. So now we just wait and see what we get. There's this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. It would be extra confluence for us to go to the sell side. If we close below this and then get a small retracement, I'd be pretty confident we would come down to here and maybe even down to here, honestly. So that'd be nice to see, and then from there we could target these highs. We've gotten so far is just pretty much consolidation. Not interested in any trades until we get some actual movement. Oh, and also, this is the macro is from 750. Shoot, 750 to about 810. That's the ideal range we want to see. Our move happen most often, or where it happens most often. My thinking, I accidentally put this at the total wrong time frame. This is supposed to be at 650, and this is supposed to be at 710. I was an hour off. I put it at 810. Put this at 720. So we're finally getting a move down on ES and NQ. I want to see this come all the way down to sell side. What did I just move? All the way to sell side liquidity. And then from there we can, where did I move this from? Right here. And from there we can look for a reversal. I want to see this at least sweep this low. Not necessarily this low. Maybe this low. Maybe the low right here. That's what I want to see happen. We may get a reaction off this level, but ideally we would have it on this level. We swept this level of liquidity, and now we're getting a small reversal. Only problem with looking for anything off of this is that there's a lot of liquidity down here, and I feel like to take a trade off of this liquidity sweep, I feel like there's a higher chance we go lower and then get stopped out. Same thing happened with ES. We took out this level of liquidity just perfectly, made equal lows right here. But there's still all of this down here that hasn't been touched. Triple equal lows. It's a huge draw on liquidity. And equal lows here, equal lows there, triple there. Which is wild, but I'd like to see a rejection off this bearish fair value gap come out and take these lows. May be interested in a trade on ES. If we disrespect this bearish fair value gap, and then we get a retrace. Because we already got strong rejection off this level. And I mean, same goes for NQ. We got this little retrace. We had this liquidity sweep, although there's more down here. I mean, but there we go. So I went with my actual plan and to not enter a trade here. And like I said, this liquidity is gonna get taken out. All these levels, ES hasn't hit them quite yet, but on NQ we took out everything I want to see get taken out. We get this one down here too. I don't really care about that too much, but that would add to the confidence. No SMT. Be really interested in a long here. So far, most of what I've said has happened. I've wanted sell side to get swept. We just swept that. And then the bias for today was bullish, so I'd like to look for a long, targeting higher highs than we already made here. So like target could be, you know, right here or something, or at least here. But what I learned yesterday is to better place my take profits so that they're not too out of reach. I'm getting really good at stop losses. It's really just my take profits now that I gotta work on. All right, we just inverse this, so this is where I'm gonna enter into a long. Gonna go here. Gonna do stop loss. Is gonna be down at this wick, and our TP. We're gonna do TP. One is gonna be right here. I don't like having. I want to have split up TPs. I'm expecting a retrace on this, but let me cancel this real quick. Let's do one take profit here. One take profit here. And we'll do one take profit up at probably these highs. And move my stop to right here. All right, this is what we're in. We're in this right here. So if I'm being honest, I did sort of rush this trade, and that I move this here. I didn't really wait for a retrace. The reason I just bought when we closed above this inverse or bearish fair value gap is because I saw ES leading much higher. It was already getting up to almost these highs, and so I was thinking that it may be one of those runners that doesn't retrace at all, and that might be the case. We might not get a big retrace, but either way, it'd be reasonable for us to get a retrace down into probably bullish consequent encroachment of this box, probably like right here, and then off of that I bet we take our highs. So I'm gonna just leave the charts, and I'm gonna come back later, and whatever happens, do a trade recap on this exact move. So I'll be back later. Alright, it's now the weekend. I'm gonna go over a quick trade recap of the trade I took on Friday. So we had sell side get swept, and then the macro was from 650 to about 720. Right there. So so yeah, sell side swept right here. At first we were getting a little pullback off this low right here, and I got tempted to take a trade, but I didn't. We respected this bearish fair value gap well on that. Came down, swept out a lot of liquidity down here, which we had equal lows and a bunch of other things, triple equal lows. So once I was swept, I was looking for longs because my bias was bullish for the day, and off of that we had this bearish fair value gap here, and once we inversed that is where I entered, and where I could have gone better here was if I should have waited for a retrace. It didn't. Luckily my stop placement was good to where it didn't matter, but our retrace came back through here, and then after that we inversed this little bearish fair value gap right here, and then we came up and we hit my first TP. My first TP was at this high, so I made a pretty good amount on that, and then I had my other TP still up here, which didn't get hit within the time I was in this trade, so that's where I closed out here. That's where this arrow is. Or no. I got rid of my other TP. This TP was hit. And then once that happened, I moved my stop to break even. Stop was moved to break even. And then so the other contract I still had on there for the TP up here came down and hit my stop right here. So it ended up being a good trade. Ended up being a good trade. Although I would have I probably would have instead next time wait for that retrace, because this retrace well could have hit my stop loss if it went a little bit further, but luckily we had strong rejection creating double. We created equal lows here, and then if I would have held this trade, my second TP would have been hit perfectly right here. But I don't want to be in trades that long. That's not the style of trading I'm doing. And so I closed, and this is where my break even was stopped out right at this. But yeah, it was a winning trade. I'm happy about it. but in the future, I'm gonna wait for a retrace every time, no matter what. I can't go against my rules. I saw this pushing up through the bearish fair value gap. I rushed it because I thought I was gonna miss the trade, and then I bought here. Then the retrace happened, and then we inversed this little one right here, inverse fair value gap, and then we went off to my take profit. So I'm happy about this trade, but at the same time, not because I broke one of my rules, which I didn't wait. I didn't wait for a confluence, but that's okay. So on Monday, I'll be ready to take that into account and not make that mistake again. It has to be a situation for me to take a trade off of just an inverse fair value gap. It has to be more well thought out. We need to have probably an SMT if we're gonna do that. Probably needs to be a SMT, and there probably needs to be more confluence than just an inverse fair value gap if we're gonna do that without a retrace. But as you can see, there was no SMT. There was no SMT for this. They both took this low. NQ and ES both took the low here, just like this. So no bullish SMT, but not bad execution. So see what we get on Monday.